Hello and welcome to Ready Bet Action. We are talking NFL daily fantasy lineups for Sunday, September 20. Can I do math? I'm going to take my shoes off. September 24th. So we have a London game this week. So
You
I
have
think
24. You have 24 digits.
I had to count to two. It's the
You had
22nd.
to count to two.
So I got to take my shoes off. It's the joke because I have 10. Okay. I'm going to move us along.
And welcome to Ready Bet Action.
And welcome back to Ready Back Action. Now we have a Sunday London game, which means you have to get your lineup set early. Actually, get them set Saturday night, the night before, because we do have some picks for the Jaguars and the Texans. We like multiple players in that game. So let's jump straight into it. Let's not waste any time. Stefan, why don't you start talking to us about quarterbacks?
Yes. So we like, we're going to give you about 3 or 4 at position. And we have 3 quarterbacks that we like today. Justin Herbert in that crazy Chargers Vikings game. We expect that one to shoot out quite a bit. So we do like Justin Herbert. We also are on Kirk Cousins, a little bit cheaper. He's probably going to hit that 300-yard bonus. And then finally, we do like Trevor Lawrence for the Jags. Kirk Cousins, the only reason I might not play him is I just feel like he's going to be the most owned quarterback this week. And so it might behoove you to go a little bit different.
Hold on.
Really like what you've done with your face. So really, the slides are all over the place. So that's the only reason why I might not go with Captain Kirk. And might go a little bit different. But Kirk Cousins at 6,900 is probably the safest with the most upside.
Yeah, sorry, it took me a second to get our picks up here. I forgot that I was the one running the show and not Stefan. But I'm a big fan of Trevor Lawrence in this spot myself. I think that he has a really good game against the Texans. I don't know if it's a spoiler or not. I don't know when I'm giving my pick. I think I'll probably do it with our NFL picks tomorrow. My survivor pick is the Jags, and so I do like spoiler. I do like Trevor Lawrence in this spot. I think he has a really good week. I know there's some history with the Texans, but yeah, I just think the Jags, they will soon be the London Jaguars, and he needs to start endearing himself to the London crowd.
That's right. 100% accurate.
Awesome. Well, let's keep moving along. I will start taking us into running backs. Look, y'all, Bijan Robinson is that guy. Like, he is him. He is like whatever terminology you want to use. Like, I'll throw it out for Gen Xers. He's the shit. What else? Like, there's so many generations of terms you can use for Bijan Robinson. And that's who he is. And he already is. And it's been 2 weeks. And I think people are already trying to project how good this guy is going to be. And he's going to have an instant impact in Detroit on Sunday on turf. It's going to feel very comfortable for him. That Atlanta team clearly wants to get him the ball. I think Ritter has been playing safe games because he's able to just feed Bijan. That's how you say it with the accent, I believe. He's going to be able to feed Bijan the ball. And so I really like Bijan Robinson. If you're looking to build a team around a premier back, I think he's the guy this week. I love Jahmyr Gibbs mostly because David Montgomery is out. He's at 6,600. Jahmyr Gibbs, this might be a week where he gets to prove he's more than what the guy who left. He's with it. Yes, thank you. He is more than DeAndre
He just put up 175 rushing yards.
We talked about that last week. How that was his only and best performance. But he gets to prove that he is more than the role that they carved out for Swift. He's going to be more than that. And I think this could be a week without Montgomery there. Someone's got to take the carries, and it's not going to be I think they had Khalif Raymond taking carries last week after Montgomery went out. So I'm just saying Gibbs, I think, is the guy. Javonte Williams. So he's at 5,500. He's not your running back one in this situation. However, the Dolphins gave up 288 yards rushing their first week versus the Chargers, and that was essentially a two-back system. If you go back and look at that game, Austin Eckler and Kelly split carries evenly at 16 each. So the Broncos have that system. P. Ryan's been getting a lot of love, but Javonte Williams has been showing some sparks and signs of life. Third game back coming into this season and playing the Dolphins. I think that's a place the Broncos can expose. And he's at $5,500. And then last but not least, Stave, can you tell us about why you love Gus the Bus Edwards as our last pick?
I think that's disrespectful. Gus Edwards, as we all know, J.K. Dobbins is gone for the year. It looks like Justice Hill is going to miss this week. So Gus Edwards is going to be getting a lot of work. I anticipate with the weather likely being pretty bad on the East Coast, this is going to be in Baltimore. I don't think you want to try to get into a throwing the ball situation with Lamar. I expect a heavy dose of the run game. I also think they're up for most of this game pretty early on and continuing on. So I think Gus gets a lot of carries. I think he gets over 15 carries this week, and we know how good he is on a yards per carry basis. If you look again at his underlying metrics, I mean, we talked about this with J.K. Dobbins. Gus is very similar. If you look at the advanced rushing metrics for Gus Edwards, they are all off the charts. He is an elite running back on a per touch basis. And a lot of that might be that offensive line, but still Gus will be able to utilize that. And at 5,300, he's safe in cash and he's great in tournaments. I will have Gus in almost every one of my lineups this week, which I don't usually do, but I am with Gus just because of the price.
Death, taxes, and Gus Edwards, I think is how the saying goes. Yep. So why don't you move us right into wide receivers?
Yeah. So for wide receivers, everyone wants a piece of that. And I think it's important that you have a piece of that Chargers. Why am I all over the place right now? You want a piece of the Chargers Vikings.
It's been a long week, man. It's been a long week.
It has. You want some pieces of that Atlanta Detroit. And I think you also want a few pieces of this Miami Denver game. Denver's defense is not the same as it used to be. We just talked about Javonte Williams. I think you run it back with Tyreek Hill on the other side. It looks like Jalen Waddle is going to be out this week. And if he's not, that concussion, I think he's out. I just think he is. And so I think Tyreek Hill sees a lot more volume. I don't think they're going to force the ball to River K. Craft or however you say his name or Braxton Berrios. I think it's Tyreek Hill and maybe a little bit of Justin Smythe. It's not Justin Smythe, it's Durham Smythe. But you wouldn't have known that if I didn't correct myself because no one's heard of him. But I like Tyreek Hill. He's expensive, but I think he's worth it. I like Mike Williams. Speaking of that Chargers Vikings games, I like Mike Williams and Jordan Addison. Again, we're going to attack this by going with the cheaper player because we still think the value is going to be there. I could see Jordan Addison putting up almost as many points as Justin Jefferson, and you're getting him at almost less than 2/3 of the cost. Finally, Josh Reynolds, Detroit. Again, we talked about that game. We want some pieces of that Atlanta Detroit game. And Josh Reynolds at 4,200, I think is a steal because he's been averaging 17 points a game, which is way more than you would expect, considering his price point continues to be down. And Amon-Ra St. Brown may not be playing this week. So Josh Reynolds feels like, you're talking about Khalif Raymond a few minutes ago. Like, give me some Josh Reynolds.
Yeah. Oh man. If Amon-Ra St. Brown's out, Josh Reynolds, I think, is a must. Like you can't
to the moon.
You can't not have him in your lineup at that point. And my last comment on the receivers is back to your Tyreek Hill commentary. Look, Pat Surtain, one of the best corners in football. I think he's up there with the Sauce Gardners, Diggs, like these other guys. But there's something about these receivers who are next level, like Devontae Adams had a decent game against Surtain, Tyreek Hill. These guys are just next level. Like, give me Surtain in the battles against like the rest of the wide receiver ones, but like guys like Tyreek Hill who are just insane. I think he still is growing into that level of coverage as a corner.
Does Surtain, does he follow the wide receiver one, or does he play a side of the field typically?
They switched it up last game. They moved him around. Yeah, they moved him around. Okay. I think the last two, especially last year, you saw him follow the wide receiver one. Last week, and I guess the first couple weeks here, you have seen him move around.
Yeah, McDaniels is just so creative with moving Tyreek around. You'll see him everywhere. Like they'll bring him out of the backfield if they have to. He's going to touch the ball 10 times this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't you talk tight ends for us real quick?
Yeah, let's talk about tight ends. Nothing like talking tight ends on a Friday night. We got Evan Ingram. We got Evan Ingram as our top pick here. Oh, one I actually think that we forgot to put on here. I actually really like Mark Andrews as my top one because I really like Lamar Jackson this week, and
I left him off just because I just left him off because of that weather. I'm just
because of the storm. We talked about
the cyclone.
Like, ignore what I said about Mark Andrews. It's
going to be windy.
Tropical storm Ophelia. Do not take people in the passing game there. My bad. So we're going to go with Evan Ingram in London. We already said we like Trevor Lawrence. We like that they're playing the Texans. Give us Evan Ingram. Sam Laporta has been showing, 5 or 6 targets a game as a rookie.
Yep.
In that Lions, again, I think we go back to if Amon-Ra St. Brown is out, this only increases his targets. Even if he's in, I still like him at 4,000. And then Durham Smythe at 2,900. Steve, why don't you tell us why we should take Durham Smythe?
I mean, I just think the Denver Broncos have shown that they can leak a lot of points to a lot of different types of receiving options. We did mention with Waddle being out, we think with a concussion, I think Durham Smythe sees an uptick in targets. Gesicki's not there anymore. So at 2,900, I mean, basically, I like punting on tight end to save up to go after some of these bigger name players like a Tyreek Hill. If I'm also trying to get some of these other guys in, and of course, if you want to play Mahomes and Kelsey, of course you can. I just against the Bears, I just don't know if they'll be pushed enough to really maximize the value that you need when they're so expensive. When you can get these options for so much cheaper and then still build out elsewhere, but. Finally, DST. We have 3 options for you. Kind of a higher price point one. The Patriots against the Jets in a sloppy game in that weather. I don't think Bill Belichick is going to get fooled by a Zach attack here. So give me the Patriots. I think they score a defensive touchdown. We like the Tennessee Titans this week as well. Tennessee has been really, really stout against the run. And I think that continues. You'll notice that we did not have Cleveland's running back, Jerome Ford, on our list. And that's because the Titans defense is so stout. Deshaun Watson is always good for a couple of picks. If you want to go real cheap, we like the Buffalo Bills at 2,900. Buffalo is going to be in Washington playing the Commanders. And Sam Howell definitely looks like he could turn the ball over a few times. He's been sacked a bunch. I think he's already been sacked 10 times. So I like the Bills. Again, they could be a sneaky play in that weather. You could see some turnovers there. So that's our plays at DST. Eric, do you want to just take us through all of our picks here as we close out?
Absolutely will. Let's wrap this up. So this is the part of the show where we'll go ahead and get this for you real quick. If you're just tuning in on TikTok or other short form versions, we're going to give these to you real quick. And you go set those DFS lineups for NFL on Sunday. At quarterback, we have Justin Herbert at 7,500, Kirk Cousins at 6,900, and nice. Trevor Lawrence at 6,800. At running back, we have Bijan Robinson at 7,800, Jahmyr Gibbs at 6,600, Javonte Williams at 5,500, and Gus the Bus Edwards at 5,300. We love Tyreek Hill against the Broncos at 9,000. Mike Williams at 6,000. Jordan Addison for the Vikings at 5,500. And Josh Reynolds with Detroit at 4,200. Tight ends, Evan Ingram at 4,800. Sam Laporta at 4,000. And Durham Smythe at 2,900. Last but not least, the defense.
Definitely least.
Sorry, last and definitely least. Bill Belichick is Zach Wilson's real father, I'm convinced, and it is 3,500 for that defense for the Patriots. Tennessee Titans are at 3,000, and the Buffalo Bills are at 2,900. Steve, any final parting words for everyone here?
Have some fun. There are some exciting games. Just don't get too chalky with it. You don't want to get the same stack that everyone else has because you just won't win unless you're in cash. Then that's fine.
All right, let's go make some money.
See y'all.